America's Cup is one of the world's most prestigious and historic races of all times, where the best and most talented sailors are pitted against each other in extreme flying catamarans that reach speeds up to 50 knots. And now, Swedish Artemis Racing has just one goal: to seize history's oldest sporting trophy, the Old Mug. Chicago is America's third largest city, and perhaps one of its most beautiful, with its unique location on the mighty Lake Michigan.
Well, we're here finally in the Windy City, and let's hope it lives up to its reputation. So far, so good. It looks stunning conditions. The race course is tight, but I think as long as we have wind and it's vaguely steady, we should have some good racing.
Chicago is the third stop of this year's Louis Vuitton America's Cup World Series, where America's Cup racing will take place on fresh water for the first time in the event's history.
Yeah, there is a difference, I think, between the freshwater and the saltwater. You know, the saltwater often, is a bit more dense, it's a little bit more buoyant. The biggest thing we're probably looking for is what is the takeoff boat speed to get foiling. But I think it'll come down to just how well you start and how well you go around the race course at the end of the day. One of the big things we've been working on for the whole season so far is about how we make our decisions. Often we're trying to make decisions to beat other teams which have been failing us, and it's the balance between making decisions to make the gains or just staying with the fleet and grinding out a position here or there. And I think the most important thing is getting off the start line well, getting around Mark 1, and then life becomes quite easy after that.
Australian Luke Parkinson has already amassed an impressive list of achievements despite his young age. Only a year ago, Luke was part of the Volvo Ocean race winning team, one of the youngest to have ever won it.
The Volvo Ocean race is pretty special. It's something that I'd always wanted to do. And I love the challenge, and I love the long races, starting in one country, finishing in another, and just being part of a special team that everyone just becomes your mates and almost like your family because you spend so much time with them. So it takes a different sort of personality and a different character to keep going and to stand up and to keep providing for that long period of time.
You might think that after 8 months out at sea, Luke would have been looking forward to some time away from the sport. But just days after finishing the Volvo Ocean race in Gothenburg, he was recruited by Artemis Racing. The transition from circumnavigating the world on a monohull to match racing in the flying catamarans is a big challenge, but one he's relishing.
It's sort of like a rally car versus a Formula One car. They're both very good at what they do. And one is meant for a rough environment that you can really push it to its limit in its environment, and this one, it's made for the track and for going really, really fast. So it is a different world in some ways, but it's similar in others. Instead of pushing ourselves for 25 days or an overnight sort of thing, now we're pushing as hard as we can physically for 4 to 5 hours or a whole day on the water. So although we're not pushing for as long, we're getting to a higher intensity for a shorter period of time. So some of those skills learnt in the Volvo are very important because if you can keep the same mental mindset, you can push yourself to a different level. So the wing trimmer primarily controls the power on these boats, and they're flying the windward hull. And when the skipper is flying the leeward hull, it's the wing trimmer's job to keep a stable platform and to control how much power we have. If you have too much power, the boat will start to create a big heel angle, and the skipper will be quite limited in what they can do with the helm and the direction of the boat. So the more stable the platform can be from the wing trimmer, the more the helm has control of the boat and can really drive it hard.
Luke Parkinson is ready for his next challenge, and in just under a year's time, he will have the opportunity to become the youngest ever to have won both the Volvo Ocean race and the America's Cup.
Well, winning the Volvo was absolutely special, you know, like I wanted to do that race my whole life, and now to move on to the Cup and to have a really good go at that with this great team Artemis. So I guess, yeah, you can only work as hard as you can and sail as hard as you can, and at the end of the day, that is the goal. But we've set our sights high, and we're looking to win.
The Andrew Simpson Foundation was started a couple of years ago in memory of a great friend of ours, Andrew Simpson, and my Olympic partner. Since then, we've spent hundreds of thousands around the world in his name supporting young people, and one of those great projects is here in Chicago.
One of the programs that we work with right now primarily is after-school programming for at-risk youth throughout the city. One of the big issues that we have here in Chicago is that it's hard for kids to get around the city. So one of the things the grant will do is help us provide transportation.
I've been sailing for about 6 or 7 years now, and I started through the ASM program. And before I joined the ASM program, I had no experience in sailing. I was scared out of my mind, so it was all new to me. And now I'm an instructor, and I love it.
Our program is to help kids learn how to sail and then eventually become sailing instructors. Hopefully that they'll, get inspired by, what sailing offers. And a lot of these kids don't get out of their neighborhoods. This might be their first time actually seeing the lake, let alone actually getting on a boat. And one of the things I love about, sailing or boating is that literally it's going to change their perspective on both their lives and again on the city.
It's really special to see these young people get out on a boat for the first time, the sense of freedom and that joy of learning something new. And I just know the pleasure it would have given Andrew, a real family man, to see these kids just getting out and having fun.
Chicago may be called a windy city, but on the first day of racing, all was calm on Lake Michigan. That meant that Friday's reserve race would count. Conditions on Friday were challenging, blowing 18 to 20 knots, leading to fast and tight racing, with Oracle Team USA coming extremely close to crashing straight into Artemis Racing.
We might have a capsize at the top. Going over. Oracle Team USA got themselves pinned. Are they going to go all the way?
Oracle had a capsize where they were about to jibe, and we were just to leeward of them, and thankfully they pulled up at the right moment, because it was going to be a big head-on collision if they had have completed the jibes.
Despite the incident, Artemis Racing sailed a great race, finishing second behind SoftBank Team Japan. On Super Sunday, 3 double-point races were scheduled. Conditions were good, with a consistent breeze of around 15 knots across the course, and the teams were looking forward to some competition on the water. Artemis Racing showed just why they are seen as one of the main challengers to Oracle Team USA. In the first race of the day, they sailed through the fleet.
Artemis Racing has moved into second, and Oracle Team USA sits in third,
to pick up a second-place finish behind Land Rover Bob. Race 2 was an imperious display by Artemis Racing. Skipper Nathan Outridge made a perfect start and sailed away from the fleet, with only Oracle chasing in vain.
Go way out in front, and it is sweet dominant today. Artemis Racing at 18 knots as they make the turn at gate number 6. And now it's just be careful time. Bring this thing home, and it'll be 20 points on Super Sunday to the Swedes. The Swedes bring home the victory.
All clear.
Artemis Racing headed into the final race in first position and needed to claim at least 4th place to be sure of victory.
They're coming together. Artemis has to bear away from Emirates Team New Zealand.
They were in second for much of the race, but in a nail-biting battle at the end with the Land Rover Bar and Emirates Team New Zealand, they secured 4th place and the overall regatta victory.
Yeah, obviously very happy with the event here in Chicago. Incredibly proud of all the boys. They sailed really well throughout the race, and I think the main reason why we won this event was we sailed well in every race. No boat handling errors, no starting penalties, no penalties around the track, and pretty excited about the future now.